Hey everyone, welcome back to ARC Encounter. I'm your host Maha, and I'm so excited to walk on this ARC path with you. Today we have a very special VIP, and she's going to share with us how she encounters overcoming obstacles through the lens of leadership. And of course, not without our wonderful guide, Bernard Bachoura. So let's begin our ARC Encounter journey with this video.
Path to better choices. It empowers us to live life to the fullest and paves the way for people like you and me to discover our unique purpose and passion. Choosing to walk the ARC path invites transformation and growth in 5 key areas of life: leadership, communication, mindset, community, and lifestyle. As we dive into these lenses, they redirect our focus and guide us into a deeper understanding of where we're at today and where we're going tomorrow. This is ARC Encounter. Welcome to the ARC Path.
Welcome to ARC Encounter. My name is Bernard Bachoura, and today we're going to be talking about overcoming obstacles. One of the things about this topic is it has so many lenses, but today we're going to be looking at the lens of leadership. This is a lens that's really special. It's an important lens to me because, again, as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, I had to learn and really struggle to find my way to understand what is leadership. Because everybody's called to lead, but we all have to learn what that means. And so we have to find that special guest that really can embody this topic, someone that understands overcoming obstacles, but of course, can live out this leadership topic. So help me welcome Dr. Norma Bachoura.
Thank you, Bernard.
Yeah, so welcome. I'm glad you're here with us. And so Norma is a very special friend. She's actually a relative and someone that is very dear to my heart and someone that understands about overcoming obstacles. She is a fighter. Yes, she's a fighter. She is an overcomer in so many areas, but most importantly is that you're a leader. And but we're going to start your journey by talking about what do you think about obstacles and overcoming obstacles? What comes to mind?
So a few years ago, I would have answered it differently than now. But at this moment, it is the perception of obstacles that comes to my mind mainly. In the past, I used to think that obstacles are these major big things. Right now, I think any change or disruption in my routine is going to be viewed as a challenge and a skill that is required to readapt to the new change. Yeah. This is how I see it today.
Love that. Yeah, actually simplified that for me. So there's a new obstacle in your life. You require a new skill set to
Yes.
overcome and to live through it. So it's a challenge that you kind of have to understand what it is and navigate it.
Well, yes, and it is the language that I use. And if I tell myself that this is an obstacle, it becomes in my emotion, my perception, and in my attitude towards solving it as an obstacle. But if I tell myself, oh, things changed in my life and I need to adapt, I will now have a different mentality and attitude and different emotional response to it. Yeah. So in that sense, I find it important to change my perception, and because after all, well, I can consider an obstacle may not be one to you or vice versa.
Exactly.
So I find it really important to watch my language and how I define things in my life.
Yes,
so,
I love that. That's pretty good. I love that. I celebrate that. But you don't always have that perception. I think it's just one of the things that you're known for in our community is that you're a warrior. Because you find obstacles and you've learned how to combat them as a warrior.
Yes.
And that served you in your life. Because again, you know from your childhood you've had many obstacles in your life and you had to overcome them. And the reward was a successful business, a successful life that you're leading today in our community.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I celebrate that. And I love how you talk about today. It's from a lens of that this is where I'm at today. Because we could have easily been talking about how you used to live in that early stages. And so even this conversation is an acknowledgement, and that's kind of what we talked on the ARC path, is that there's an acknowledgement that there's something new happening in my life.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So I can freely share that my father passed away recently, so I needed to change lifestyle. So I moved from my house to my mother's house, and I get phone calls and people telling me, "Oh, is it difficult? So sorry for the change that is occurring in my life." And because of my perception, which is this is just an adaptation to something new, and I have an opportunity to get much closer to my mother and to get to know her more and hopefully help her out in a more hands-on and day-to-day aspect. It is not a big deal.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I think the celebration is that you recognize how important it was to look at the situation, assess it, and celebrate and overcome it.
Correct.
But you weren't always like this.
Correct. In the past, I would have thought of it as, well, I don't want to say in the past, because I want to also say that I just remembered a few months ago. So when my father passed away, I was about to do some major changes in my life that required me to be independent. And then when my father passed away, the question was, the timing was horrible. Not that there was any time that you can have this happen to you, but truthfully, it really was horrible. In many ways than one, and I come from a religious background, and my question was at that moment to God, why did you do it right now? Couldn't you wait
a few months
or a few years? My request was many years.
Yes,
but why did you do it right now? It's what is it that you're up to? What is it that you require of me? And so I felt that maybe he needed, like there was something that was required of me from God, and I was like, just
taken back by taken back by
pretty
the journey.
much.
Yeah.
And so for many months, I asked, what is it that you want? What is it that you want? Until a few weeks ago at church, I realized that in good times, in bad times, I have the secret of contentment, which is Christ in me. It's Christ in me who strengthens me. It is Christ who gives me power. So I said, maybe I'm asking the wrong question. Maybe I should say things like, when I am like at my wits' ends because I have no clue how to navigate this, or when I am happy, I will be content. So again, flip the attitude, and I ask God, when I am weak, I'm going to give you my problem, and you're going to show me how you solve it. And no matter what it is, I am going to rely on you for the strength for today's issue.
Yes, I love it. And I just want to draw something, because leadership is so critical to this. And just in case the audience missed it, I'm going to tell you guys, is you're such a leader, because you said one thing that I picked up on is you waited months. And most people don't wait months. It's like, wait, why did this happen? It's this obstacle in my life. How do I overcome this? And it becomes a burden that consumes them. And the fact that you have the experience, and that you go, you know what, I'm going to sit through this. Until I get to a place where I have peace with it, or I have an answer to it.
Or a comfortable resolution.
A comfortable resolution. And that's leadership. I mean, I see that in you more and more in your life as you've taken back, you've slowed things down, you're accomplishing so much more, you're growing so much more. But the most important thing is the way you're overcoming obstacles is continuing to transform and evolve and change.
And again, see, I think this stems from one basic concept. And again, this is from my background that is religious. And the way I see it is that God has always been in control. And that means that in my life, no matter what happens from externally or internally, he will take that and he will work it out for good.
Complicated subject, because when we talk about that, a lot of people think that, oh, he's in control, then I don't have to do anything.
No.
Yes.
Like
you have to do the work.
Well, obviously.
Well,
because
but it's implied. There's a lot of implication when I just, for me, when I hear a lot of people say that God is in control, I'm just going to sit back and God is in control. As a leader,
yes, that is not it. Yeah. That is not it. So let me put it this way. It is my belief that I can veto God with anything that he proposes, because he will not. Let me explain that.
I'll let you finish it.
Because he will not overwhelm my will. So if he says, I would like you to do A, B, and C, I can say no. Yes. He might corner me, but I can still say no till the day I die.
I love you. I love you for that.
So in that sense, when obstacles come in, I have the free will to say, I will bend and move with you, Lord, because I have hope and I believe you are good to me. And you have the ability and the power to take any circumstance around me and turn it for my own good. And the goal of that is for me to be changed into the image of Christ, for me to learn to love and to be more and more loving. So it is my personal belief that irrespective of what's going to be thrown my way, that's how I'm going to look at it. Yeah. This is an opportunity for me to learn to be way more loving, and it is God who's going to help me do it. And no matter what others or the world or, circumstances or COVID does, at the end, God will use it for my good.
Yes, and I appreciate that.
That's how I think of God as in control.
I'm going to help my audience because they don't know you like I know you. Now you know why she was chosen for leadership. I don't know many people that know or think or have the courage to say it, I can veto God. Let me enjoy that one. Just give that one to me.
Well, okay, I have to say I am not the only one who have said this. If you listen to Bill Johnson, I believe many years ago, he said, do you know
So this is your fault, Bill. So if you're watching this, just call me. We're going to talk about it.
I am so sorry. But
well, and that's why you're a VIP. And on the AHRK path, we talk about you being a VIP as someone that knows their values, understands their identity, and lives into their purpose. And it's critical because as a leader, you know what you're supposed to be doing. You have an understanding that I'm supposed to lead. You lead our community. You lead your business. You lead your church. And in every part of our world, you look at it from a perspective of leadership. But in order for you to have gotten to that point, your values have always anchored you. So tell us a little bit about your values.
My values. Can you be a little more specific?
Sure. What anchors you? Because you've overcome so many obstacles.
What anchors me?
Yes.
I have hope that things will work out, no matter, and I have hope that if I struggle, I can there is a way to overcome struggle, and that I am not like a victim, and I am not going to woe me, sit down, and so I have hope that there is a way out. And it's a matter of figuring out and learning what is the way out.
Yes.
But there is a way out.
Yes.
And I also have hope that tomorrow is going to be better.
Yes.
I mean, look at the history of planet Earth. I mean, we had the Black Plague, and it got better. We had the famine in the 1600 or 1700, it got better. All of Europe was like dying, and it got better. We had World War I, and we also had the flu epidemic, the Spanish flu epidemic, which actually killed more people than World War I, and we got better.
Yes.
We had World War II, and we got better. Hopefully not the third.
Yes.
But no matter what happens, things will get better.
Yes. Yeah, and you've looked at history, you've studied history, you look at your life and what you've overcome. And that's kind of being on the AHRK path is you've acknowledged that if there's a situation, there is hope on the other side of it.
Oh, absolutely.
But a lot of us, when we're in our circumstance, we don't necessarily see that. And that's kind of why we're doing the AHRK Encounters, is that there is hope for whatever circumstance that people are in, is that we don't want to minimize their situation, but at the same time there's hope on the other side of it. And AHRK is the process of acknowledge, heal, restore, to get to that kingdom, that other side of it, that hopeful other side of it.
So I have to tell you that the way I got there is by one, recognizing when I was hopeless and understanding that it is my imagination that made me hopeless, that it wasn't necessarily reality, but it was I picked and chose the information, and I didn't see the whole of information. So, for example, if I look at the news and all I see is calamity, 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 I'm going to say, oh, there is nothing good in the world. It's all calamity. But I need to catch my thoughts and say, that is not the truth.
Correct.
The truth is, this is a snippet of information, and there is a lot of other information that is good. So number one, do this. Number two, retrain my brain and go through a process that tells me, it's true, I think this was my conclusion, but I will think differently.
Yes. But that was something that you had to learn. That healing. You had to heal your thoughts, your patterns, because our early childhood, the patterns that we were brought up with, didn't really have that, and so we had to adapt our mindset. And I know that's we share some of that history, but I've seen your story in healing is so different. It's so anchored in hope. Because of the adversities that you've had to overcome in different parts of your life. But you got to a place of healing, and that's given you the peace to be the leader that you are today.
And I believe, like every time you say a leader, I wonder what kind of leadership do I do? I think it is by example.
I'm going to keep saying it, and it will sink in, because she is a spectacular leader. She leads every part of her life. And that's the AHRK Encounter, is as much as this is for our audience, it's really for both of us to recognize, who am I? How am I stronger? And as you were chosen for this lens, this episode is because you are a leader. It's not just a spiritual leader, but as a businesswoman, as someone that has had now a few decades in your career in managing not just your practice, but thousands of patients. You lead them, because a lot of them come challenged.
Correct. A lot of people, when they are ill, they come in very hopeless. And it is, you're right, it is the training that says, no matter what illness you have, there must be hope at the end. I don't believe a human being can survive without hope.
I'm going to quote you on that.
Honestly.
That is so good.
So human beings require hope, and they require love. So truthfully, and there is hope, because we're not. The world got better despite COVID. I stick to my word.
As a medical doctor, this is what we're contending with. But I just want us to keep walking on the AHRK path. You touched healing. You acknowledged that there's something that needed to be corrected. You got to a place of restoration where this mindset, this pattern that you live into today, knowing that there's always something better on the other side. That hope that you have is not only anchored you personally, but actually anchors all your patients.
Sure.
So you're a doctor and you're a healer.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I am.
Yes, and I celebrate that because people think that doctors are miracle workers, and the reality is not every doctor has the right mindset, but I know Norma has a mindset of healing. Her desire, her hope, her celebration is that she just doesn't want to just fix you. She wants you to be healed.
Absolutely, and it is the ability to thrive in all three levels, which is the psychological, the physical, and the spiritual. It isn't to have no diseases, but to be the best that you can be, kind of like the army.
Yes, I love that. Well, it is a battlefield. Love is a battlefield. Life is a battlefield. So we move into that restoration, and I think you give it away. That's kind of not only do you live it, are you a role model for that restoration? You give it away every day, that hope that people can restore their lives and they can overcome the obstacle that's in front of them today.
Absolutely. I think if I was hopeless and if I was overcome with the challenge and the change that is occurring either in the world or in me, I would portray that on a daily basis to my patient and to the people around me, and that will actually cause a lot of damage. So in that sense, you're right. When patients come to me and when people come to me and we discuss anything from illness to COVID to this president is going to mess up my life, etc., I am hoping that I put things in perspective so that it equilibrates the picture a little bit.
Yeah, it's healthier.
Sure.
And that's kind of where health is where we're moving on to that final phase of, which is getting into that kingdom mindset. And I know you give so much away from what you've learned, your life's experience. You care for people, but you model this kingdom component in so many different parts of your life. And because you've overcome adversity, you've overcome so many obstacles, and now you recognize the pattern. And not only do you continuously overcome obstacles, as you call them, challenges now, which I love that, by the way, but you're teaching others to do it. You're teaching me, you're teaching our audience of how do you live in that mindset, that hopeful mindset. And what do you celebrate about that this kingdom reality that there is hope on the other side?
What do I get out of it?
Well,
what do I enjoy?
You do it with intentionality. Like you have an awareness of it. It's not like this random thing that you do.
Well, I wish it was naturally occurring. I wish. But no, I had to learn. I had to learn because, so as a child, I had polio, so I had to do surgeries. And every time things will get a little better, but not like 100%. So on a day-to-day basis, I had to learn to accept the improvement and go forward. So in that sense, it was intentional. And I think, I wish it wasn't like this, but I think it was the pain that actually drove me to learn how to overcome this.
Right, but you do it every day.
Correct.
You serve your community. Showing up to work every day.
During COVID, that was a challenge. That was something else.
Yeah, but you model leadership in overcoming obstacles, and that's as a lifestyle.
Got it. So what I celebrate the most is peace of mind. Oh my God, I love that. The fact that there is hope for tomorrow, it settles me, anchors me, so I no longer have to have anxiety, have depression, have worry about what's tomorrow gonna happen. Oh my God, things didn't happen my way, which they never do. I don't know if that happens to you guys, but for me, I never get what I want. Hardly ever.
Only in our family conversations, but call me, I'll tell you a lot about it.
Exactly. So, but because, so you know, the election, the COVID, and because of all of that, you look and you say, well, what do you celebrate out of my hopefulness? It is peace of mind. I can cruise, baby. I can cruise.
I love that.
And it is, the world can do whatever, and I'll still have the peacefulness, the calmness in life that is generally there, that will allow me to walk through without any major drama in my life.
I love that, and that's what you're anchored in. I see that.
Yeah.
It's been a big part of your life. So you've seen it, folks. I mean, Norma is a leader. She lives, she models leadership out. It's not something that she went after. It's just who she is. It's anchored in her values. It's anchored in her identity, and it comes out in her purpose every day. And that's what's available. We invite you to be on the AHRK path with us. So go online, check out the program, check out what we're doing, and tell us your story. Celebrate with us how you overcome obstacles, how you take leadership, how you take mindset and change your community, change your life. So Norma, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Bernard.
Yes,
that was lovely.
Enjoyed it. I'm going to watch this
Thank you.
several times to get it, and I'm going to send it to all of my family and friends. And that's what we're asking you to do. Send this to your family and friends. Let's change our community. Let's add hope to a lot of hopeless conversations. And again, for the medical profession, we celebrate you guys. It's not easy. It hasn't been an easy season for the medical industry right now, but we celebrate you guys and we thank you. And here's Maha to talk more about the AHRK program.
Thank you.
Wow, what an amazing leader Norma is. I love that Norma takes on life with the mentality that she can overcome obstacles, challenges, and even if it takes some time, healing is possible, and peace is attainable. So I speak that hope over all of us today. If you'd like to hear more of amazing videos like this one, come visit our website at ahrkpath.com, our social media at AHRKpath. We also have an app called Circles Now. We have courses and awesome podcast sessions created by Norma Bachoura and Casey Cox. I'm your host, Maha, and thank you so much for coming on to AHRK Encounter. We'll see you next time.